Hello everybody, my name is Joshua Winkins, and welcome back to another video. Now if you're new to this channel and you've never watched any of my videos before, I make videos on Final Cut Pro, filmmaking tutorials, and camera gear review videos. So if those are the topics that you're interested in, highly encourage you to go ahead, hit that subscribe button. When I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away this Google Home Mini for free once I reach 1,000 subscribers. Now this video, the goal of this video is to really give you a more advanced tutorial of Final Cut Pro. If you have not seen my latest video, I gave you like a beginner's guide to Final Cut Pro, but I want to, like I said before, give you a way more advanced and way more detailed look into Final Cut Pro. Disclaimer, this isn't like a Hollywood professional level editing, but I want to give you some really cool tips and tricks that I have learned that the only way to know these tricks is you have to use Final Cut Pro for a while. Let's go ahead, get the computer screen recorded, and show you guys some really cool things you can accomplish with Final Cut Pro. Okay guys, now you can see Final Cut Pro is screen recorded, it's up on the screen, so let's go ahead and run through this advanced tutorial. What I'm trying to accomplish in this video is to kind of show you my process and how I actually edit some of my videos, but I also want to show you some of the really cool effects and things you can do with a really expensive program. So let's go ahead and just mine this out of Final Cut Pro. So let's say you took the video on your camera or whatever, you've imported it into, you export it out of your camera, and now it's in a folder on your desktop, wherever your file is, it's now on the computer. So let's go ahead and jump into Final Cut Pro. Everything has been organized. Now let's go ahead and actually start to import it. Now let's go ahead and press this little button right here, this little arrow key, and now you can just import whatever clips you want. So that's just how you import different clips. So let's say I've imported all the clips. Let's say I'll just use, for an example, I'll just use these clips. So let's say I just recorded these clips, put it on my computer, and now they've been imported into Final Cut Pro. Now the very basic thing you can do on Final Cut Pro is just literally click it, drag it on the timeline, and you can just edit it. That's a very beginner and basic level of Final Cut Pro, and I want to show you a more advanced way to do it. Now I'm going to do it by creating a project. So scroll all the way up, go ahead and click over here, click Files, click New, and then click Project. You can, if you really get really good at it, you can do everything through keyboard shortcuts, but I'm just going to do it that way. So let's go ahead and title this. Let's title this YouTube video. Now you can go ahead and see the different formats. So let's say you shot a video in 4K, like I do. I shoot a lot of my videos in 4K, but I actually want to put it into a 1080p timeline. So let's go ahead, there you go. So you can select the formats, select whatever format you want, and the resolutions, frame rate. Now all this can be changed, so you can do like a custom, you can change the resolutions, you can change the frame rate if you're doing like a different type of video and it needs a different format. But I'm just going to do my normal 1080p resolution, 24 frame rates, and there you go. So there I've created a project. Now, as you can see, I'll scroll down, here's the project. So this really helps. So let's say you have a 1080p video, a 4K clip, a 5K clip. If you create a project, they're all put into 1080p, which is what I do. I record all my videos in 4K and put it into 1080p. It all depends on what you're doing, but as you can see here, all of my different projects, it just helps create different videos, so when I export a video, I can still edit it again and create more. That's just a pro tip, is to create a project. So let's say, okay, here's my project. I've opened up my project, as you can see right here, 1080p, 24 frames per second, and YouTube video. So let's go ahead, and I'll just go ahead and just find some clips. I'll find these two clips. So the normal thing you can do is just take the clip, drag it on the timeline, and you're all set. However, I want to go through, up on the screen are 6 keyboard shortcuts. Now, keyboard shortcuts are really helpful when you're doing video editing and doing a lot of it. Keyboard shortcuts make things a lot faster. So the keyboard shortcut that I want to go over first is how to actually import a clip. So all you gotta do is, let's say you want this clip. So click on the clip, press W, next clip, W, next clip. Now I say I want this clip also, and press W. So there we go. All the clips have been imported, and I didn't drag a single clip into the timeline, so that just helps go a lot faster. There are a whole bunch of keyboard shortcuts where you can like insert things in between, before, after, but I think that's just a lot easier. Just one clip after another, one clip after another. The more advanced you get, the much better you get at this program. Now I'm going to go over, I'll try to remember all the keyboard shortcuts. So W is to import the clip. Now I'm going to go ahead, so let's say, see this timeline is really long. Let's go ahead and zoom in or out. So Command minus, you can see you can zoom out, or you can zoom in if you want to get really tight. Command minus minimizes it, and then you can zoom in with Command plus. So that just really helps whatever you're doing. A lot of times I'll just do Command minus if you want to see the entire thing, but going closer helps you to cut different things. Now let's say I've put in here and I click this thing and I've imported it using W, but I don't want that clip there. I made a mistake, or I made some type of little mistake with like titles and so on. All I gotta do is press Command Z, and that mistake that I did is undone. Command Z is how you undo different clips. Try to remember to go over all these keyboard shortcuts. So Command Z is undo, W is import, and you can zoom in or out using Command plus or Command minus. Another helpful thing to do is to be able to mark your video. So let's say I've got different things right here. I want to just mark the video so when I go back I know where everything is. All you gotta do is just press M, and you can see here are different little marks. Let's say you made a mistake, just Command Z and you can undo those different marks. Let's say I want to cut the clip, just press Command B, and there you go. The clip has been cut. Now let's say I want to delete that, just press the clip and then just click delete. And let's say you made a mistake, Command Z. It's all undone. So those are just some of the most popular keyboard shortcuts. Now I want to go a little bit over overlays and what overlays are and why Final Cut Pro kind of stands out versus the other programs. So other programs you can only you can stack like 2 or 3 clips, but watch this with Final Cut Pro. I'm just gonna drag it in. Let's say I want like this clip on here. I'll zoom in a little bit. So let's say I want this clip, but I want another picture on top of it. So go ahead and just press it. I can put it on top, and I'm not gonna do too much more, but you can see what happens. Let's say I want this picture on top. I can go ahead and stack this. That's the beauty of overlays. You can just keep stacking clips, more and more clips. So that's how you just do overlays. And comment down below if you know the limit of how many things you can stack. But let's say you want like a text, an image, you go ahead and just put it on top, and that's how you see I've got different text and images. Now, and you can play with it as you go along. Now let's say I'll scroll down and find some music. How I put music is I'll just put music, drag it underneath the timeline. Let's say I want like more sound effects, and as you can see I could like cut it up, blade, cut it, and then like just cut it up right here, cut blade, and then I'll just cut it right here, another one, and there you go. I've taken out the music. So that's how you see all those guys do all those different sound effects. So that's just the basic of overlay. Underneath is music, and on top is your different pictures and images. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and show you guys audio and how I actually go about editing audio. So what I want to do is you want to click on your clip, go to this little speaker thing right here, click on the speaker, and what I like to do is you can turn it up, turn it down, like whatever you want to do. Now what I like to do is I like to go to equalization, click voice enhanced, then click this little button right here. I'll click this little button, and what I like to do is I like to put all these. Now you guys can go ahead and correct me and everything like that. This is how I personally do it. I know it's not like a professional level, but honestly what I'll do is I'll just bring these all to the middle, then I'll bring this down to like -2 or -3. And what that does is it just helps compress the audio. It sounds like you're closer to the microphone, so it doesn't sound like echoes. So that's what I do. I use this voice enhanced equalizer. Now how do you fade in and out with the music? So let's say I want this music, I want to fade it in, so let's go ahead and just press Command plus, then go ahead and click on it. Now what you can see is I'll zoom in on this when I actually edited this, but as you can see, look, Here you go. See, look, I'm panning the audio so it slowly comes in, that you can do it the other way, but this is how you pan, I should say, fade in or fade out the music. All you gotta do is just wait till your arrow turns like, go ahead, just undoes a mistake, but go ahead and wait to see that little arrow, how it looks like. That's how you mess with the audio. So that's basically audio right there, and that's what I just do. I just fade in and fade out the audio by using this little effect, and then when I edit my actual person, I'll go ahead and just use voice enhanced. So that's how I go about editing audio. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and talk about color grading. Now throughout this video, I'm not saying like I'm the best and professional color grader, but how I do is, see, this is what the image actually looks like without color grading. Now what I'll do is, you want to go ahead, head up to Window. See Window right here? You want to go to Workspaces and go over to Color and Effects. Go over to Color and Effects, click this little View button, click this icon right here, and as you can see, this is the most important thing that you have to be really aware of. Now, how I go about color grading my thing is I'll go over to this. See this little colorful triangle? I'll go ahead, click on this, I'll bring up a color wheel, and then I'll bring up a color curve. Now, I'll go ahead and mess with color wheel. Basically, how I'll do it is, see this little area right here? This is where me, and this is the exposure. You often want it like 50 to 100, so obviously you can do it differently, but then you want to go ahead and bring up the highlight. As you can see, it brightens the image, darkens the image, and it all depends on your look and how you want your colors to actually look. So that's what I do. I'll bring up the highlights, I'll bring down the midtones a little bit to make the background dark. So let's say I want to background a little dark, because my images tend to be a little dark. I'll bring up the highlights a little bit, then I'll go to temperature, and I'll bring it over here a little bit to make it a lot warmer. Then what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go over to color curves, over this red thing, and I'll switch it to whatever orange I want, and then I'll just bring it over. And as you guys can see, the image, my face is a lot warmer, not as cold. Now obviously, see, if I bring it up too much, it gets orange, it starts messing with the different colors. But you can go ahead and just mess with this if you just want your face to have a little bit of an orange and warmer look. So that's how I go about actually color grading my image. Now if you want to go ahead, go back to Windows, have it a workspace, go back to default, and then I'll just add a title, go to this little section right here, and add a whole bunch of titles. This is a glitch title, which I highly encourage you to go ahead and do. To me, I just think that's really cool. The title can glitch in or out. I'll often use, I believe, I'll have to figure out where it is, but I think in title, if you go to titles, I'll use basic title a lot. So that's just, so go ahead and let's just say I want this title, go ahead and bring it up on the screen. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Go ahead, click on the title. Make sure it's yellow. When you click on it, then you want to go over to text. Wait till this loads up. There you go. So go here. So I should go to this little button right here. There's a mistake. And let's just say let's just put my name right here. So that's how you edit the different titles, and then you can go to fonts. The font that I often use is this one right here. I'll often use this font, and then you can go ahead and just make it bigger or larger, or whatever you want to be able to accomplish. Okay guys, so now let's go ahead and head over to transitions. Let's go ahead and just press Command, and I'll minus this out a little bit, whatever looks good to me. Now we'll go ahead and just delete the audio, and I'll keep the text right now. So let's go ahead and head over to transitions. Now this little button right here, this little thing right here, is transitions. Now some of these are plugins, some of these are actually have built into the program, so you can go ahead and look up different plugins. I encourage you to go ahead and do Pixel Film Studio. I think is it called Pixel Films? Honestly, I don't remember what the website is called, but you can go ahead and look up there. I will do a video talking about plugins in the future. So often my most popular and most favored transitions, I found this TV glitch transition. This is how I go ahead, and most of my videos are using this effect. So you want this transition, go ahead and try to get it in there. messed up. So let's go ahead and this is bit. So actually, let's go ahead and try to cut this up. Let's say I want to cut. So let's say I want to put a transition. Let's say I messed up somewhere here. Let's go ahead and put a transition into there. It should work here. There you go. So there you go. You just drag the transition, and I'm not sure why that didn't work. So let's go ahead and just play that, as you can see, and then watch whenever it comes up. Give it a couple seconds. It might be a little laggy, but so you see, and that's how I use that different transition. So that TV glitch transition is honestly the most favorite one. I use that a lot. You can go ahead and just mess around with a couple different transitions. Again, some of these are plugins. I don't remember which ones are plugins and which one actually comes with the program. But you can go ahead and just whatever transition you want, you go ahead and drag it wherever you want the transition to go. Now I also want to talk about different effects. Now the effects panel is something that I really enjoy, and I really enjoy messing around with different effects. Now, as you can go up here, you can place this little square icon, click this here, and here are the different effects for Final Cut Pro. Now one really cool thing that I learned, I'm going to go over some of like my most popular and most used effects, is the green screen. Now, if you've never been able to use, if you don't know how to use green screens, go ahead and just put it onto the timeline. Go ahead and zoom out a little bit. So say this is what it looks like. So let's say if I played this, as you can see on top of this, look, you can't see my face. It's just that, it's just a green screen. So let's go ahead and head over to this keying. So you want to go ahead and press keying, and then go over here and press the different keyer. Go ahead, drag it on top, and then look at this. Play it again, and there we go. So sorry about it's a little laggy, but there you go. So that's the title, and the original thing is green. So if you see, if I undo it, it's just green. All you gotta do is just press keyer, and there you go. You've messed with so you can, whatever you want to do, just add a green screen to it, and you can go ahead and mess around with it. And also, if you want to move anything, go ahead and press this little thing right here. Go ahead and this, whatever's highlighted in yellow. So as you can see, I can move the text for wherever I want it. And if you want to also, you can crop it. So you can go ahead and just crop the image. So you want to crop it. A couple of things I want to highlight here is speed ramping. So if you want to make the clip faster or slower, you can mess with a whole bunch of different effects there. Now I also want to go over, try to figure out where it is, blur. Now blur is the effect that I use a lot. So let's say, and go ahead and find, okay, so let's say here. So this is how I accomplish this look. So let's go ahead and zoom in. This is how I do these blur effects. So cut it out, use the blade tool, and cut out what you want to do. Now, what you want to do is you want to go over to blur. Now you can mess with a whole bunch of these different things, but this is what you see. Look, I'm blurred out. So this is how I use this in a lot of my videos. So put it onto my person, click on this, click on this image, go ahead and put it onto transform and zoom it out, and look, there you go. That's how, if you ever seen my videos, that's how I go about actually accomplishing that look. So you just use this little, I don't know how Gaussian, I actually don't know how to pronounce it. So the keying effect and the blurring effects are often some of my favorite effects, and I use them so many. I just use them a lot. I'm not sure what else to say, but now I want to go over this cool little effect that I found out, that how I actually create these thumbnails is actually used in Final Cut Pro. This is if you go ahead and actually use how you can create thumbnails in Final Cut Pro. Now as you can see here, look, see this is a green screen. So if I took out the green, you would just see, this little icon right here would be like in the middle. So I just see, as you can see, look at this. Hard to explain, but look, there you go. It's being moved around. So that's just there's so many cool things. See, that's what it looks like originally. Now I go ahead and just move it around, and that's how you actually can go about creating your own thumbnails in Final Cut Pro, which I think is really cool. Now a couple other things that I want to go over is how to actually go about exporting your clips. So what you want to do is, I don't know, let's say I'll take this video, for example, get it all. See, this is what it looks like. This is what I'm talking about with overlays. As you can see, I dragged a whole bunch of things on top of the screen, and I'll go ahead and zoom in. This is actually one of my videos, and as you can see, look, I've panned right here. I panned the audio. I've faded in and out the audio. So that's how you go about accomplishing that. Actually, it's probably a good idea to show you guys. This is actually what I do. As you can see, there's a green screen right there, but so that's just how I actually go about making the videos. There's transitions right here. I've cut the clips up. I see there's a marking right there, so you go ahead and go about marking it. Now let's go ahead and go over the export settings. You want to go ahead, click over here. Now I know it's still rendering, but I'll go ahead, just go up to the export. Now you want to go ahead, and if you want to go ahead and go here, so click add destination. So as you can see, you can add a whole bunch of different destinations and so on to be able to go about exporting your video. I'll maybe go a little bit in that in a future video. But so what you want to do is you want to go ahead, click export, click the master file right here. And as you can do, this is the name of the clip. So you want to name it whatever you want to. Doesn't really matter. But as you can see, here's the project. It's all in 1080. Go to settings and then click this. H.264 is the appropriate thing you want to export the video, especially when you're going to YouTube, because it compresses it a certain way when you upload it. So you just want to go ahead and make sure that's on. As you can see, if I went ahead and switched to any of the other things, that would go up by like 20 gigabytes. So it also saves a lot of space. Another thing that I really want to go over is also, you can go ahead and actually, you can go to add destinations to add it, but this is how you go ahead and just save a current frame if you want to take like a screenshot. So let's say I want to that as my thumbnail for some reason. Go ahead, go up here, click save current frame, and I can go ahead and you can obviously change whatever you want, whatever settings you want, and there you go. That's how you actually export a thumbnail. As far as that's as much as I can think of when it comes to a more advanced tutorial of Final Cut Pro. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that demonstration. Anyways guys, hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found this video somewhat helpful and somewhat informative. Hopefully you learned a lot. And if there are still topics that you want to learn a lot more about, highly encourage you to go ahead and go down in the comment section below, and I can try to answer some of your questions. Before you go ahead and leave the video, make sure to go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. And I'm giving away this Google Home Mini for free once I reach 1,000 subscribers. Anyways guys, have a great day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Peace!